The first thing you're going to want to do, guys, is you're going to want to have a Google account, which you can go in and look at, and then you're going to want to go to File and make a copy, and that's going to create a copy of the template for you in order to do all the things I'm about to tell you how to do. Today we're just going to go over the next iteration of my self-updating roster. I want to make it fairly quick, but I also want to go quite in depth because there's quite a lot to cover. So if you think something like this would be super useful for you, which believe me it is, just go ahead and give it a listen, and wait to the end if you can. I'll go over some of the changes you can make and I'll explain it as we go along. But first things first, what does it do? How can I use it? Well, we're going to have, this is the realm. I accidentally deleted that, sorry. So you have your name section on the far left. So in this case, we'll use my main, Ragewang, and we'll put in the server I'm on, Taran Mill. And what it's going to do is it will find all of my information. So what information does it show? It shows how many tier pieces I currently have. It shows what spec I'm currently playing. It shows my average item level. That's pulled directly from the armory, so we know it's correct. It shows that my head is currently a tier piece. My neck is 715. And it shows me the item level for all my pieces, or whether it's tier. Now, what I can't get it to do is show me what type of tier it is, whether it's normal, heroic, or mythic, just because of the way Blizzard have encoded it and the way it kind of pulls off the armory doesn't quite show you. However, I have added some code into the tools that would allow you to take out the T and just show you the item level if that's what you'd like. And I'll show you that now. So you go into tools, we go into script editor. We scroll through all this and we find this here, delete if you don't want T tiers shown. So we select this and we go down, and what you'll find is eventually you will see T tier ends here. So we delete all that, select it all, hit delete, and then hit save, and the T is gone. You'll just have the item level for every piece of gear. But unfortunately this tier counter here won't work, because what it does is it searches for the T which it gives out. So unfortunately that's kind of an issue. So you either you have it and it's useful, or you don't have it. So right now it's probably useful to have, but if you're watching this a couple of months in the future where everyone kind of has tier, you can just take that out and not worry about it. So another thing I want to go over is how to hide columns. Again, this is probably something you'll want to do especially if you've got rid of the tier. You can just hide the column. But for now, we'll use the realm as an example. So you select the column just by clicking on the letter at the top. We right click and you click hide column. Now, realm is a really good one to hide. We don't particularly need the realm because we generally know what realm we're on. It's not a piece of information that's super important to us. So if we want to get that information back, you can see there's these kind of arrows at the top. We can just click one of them and it will reappear. So in this case, my whole guild is on Taran Mill. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the cell. I'm going to grab this kind of blue square in the corner. I'm going to click and drag, and it's going to copy that information to all the cells I've dragged it down to. And that just makes it a bit easier. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to hide column. Now, some realms are kind of like doubled up. For example, Taran Mill is doubled up with Dentguard, and that means occasionally you might have a raider that's actually on a different realm, in which case that information there is very useful. We have class ID, again, not particularly useful, so I always hide that column. And as we go along here, we have some more columns I generally have hidden. High Maul kills, BRF kills, and Hellfire Citadel kills. I usually hide the High Maul kills, they're not really relevant anymore. And again, we just select them and we hide the columns. So, we've gone over what information it shows, whether it shows tier or item level. It shows what enchants you have and whether they're good or bad. The color will change depending on if it's suitable for your spec and class or not. Gift will be red with a breath or red with a none. And gems, it will be red for 0 or 35, and yellow for 50, and green for 75. The reason I went yellow for 50 and not red is because right now a lot of people are still transitioning, and plus 50s aren't too bad for the BRF gear. However, as you get into Hellfire Citadel, I highly suggest going for the plus 75s. They're not that expensive. And then the rest of it is just some analytical stuff. So how do we add extra people? How do we add extra columns if we want them? Say, for example, you have 4 tanks or something. How do we take the Like, there's only 3 things here, so how are we gonna add the information in that we need to know? Well, if you can right click on, like we did with the column, you right click on the row, and we're going to insert one below or insert one above, it doesn't really matter. In this case, I'm going to insert one below, and then we're going to copy the information from one person's thing, and we're going to paste it in. So that's copy, or Control C on the keyboard as I did, and then we're going to paste it. Now this causes a bit of an issue on the second page, but we'll deal with that when we get to it. Now obviously this still says rage rang, not very useful, so let's use my other alt. And then you'll see the difference in the information that's portrayed as well. So as you can see, my alt's not particularly well geared. Anything that's plus 690 and under, I believe, should be red, because right now 695 is very, very easy to get with Tanan. So I figured, 690 is probably the minimum, or 691. If you ever want to change any of this, what you can do is you can go into the formatting, conditional formatting, and then here are the values. So if value is greater than less than 695, it is red. You can change that, and it will update everything more or less. You may have to do a little bit of fiddling, but it will generally update everything. So you could say if value is less than 685 or 684, you want it to be red, but you can add like an extra color in there, like a soft yellow or something for like a mediocre. But there's lots of things you can do. Look up how to do conditional formatting in Google Docs spreadsheets, and you'll be absolutely fine. So that's kind of all the information we have there. We can see that I have a breath, which isn't good. I have no rings enchants or cloak enchants. I have 35 gems, not very good. So instantly you get a visual cue that there's something wrong here, there's something wrong here. Have a look, see what it is, and then you can very, very quickly see who needs what done. So yeah, it's super, super useful. Right at the top here, we have a counter for which type of which type of tokens they're using. It's just there because I can. We do actually have a better one on the next page, but we'll see that when we come to it. And we have an average item level of the of everything on there, so we can kind of count up the average item level of your whole raid team. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Whenever you want to add a name, you just select the row, copy it, paste it, and then change the name. So we can put in my friend Minimoose, for example, and it's going to straight away, it's going to say, right, he's got 2 pieces, he's blood, this is his gear, he's got these pieces of tier, it changes the colors based on the class, etc. He's got DK stuff, he's really, really good, fine, brilliant, cool. Nothing there is red, good stuff. So that's kind of that page all done, and I've gone over most of the stuff there. If you have any questions, please do ask in the comments below. I'll be happy to go over anything for you. But for now, we're going to move on to the second page. Now, the second page is more to do with analytics and things. As you can kind of see, Misty Wang isn't showing up properly. Now, this is because I added a new row. So the best way to sort this out is we're going to select not the second row where your first person starts, because there's a lot of array formulas and things in here. What we're going to do is we're going to select the second row, and we're going to select the first 5 cells, these cells that are boxed in here, and we're going to grab the corner, and we're just going to pull it down. And then that fixes everything. So if you ever add a row and add new members via a new row, you have to do that, unfortunately. I couldn't find a way around it. It's a minor thing, but it's something that you will have to do. So what information do we have here? Well, we've got the name, obviously, which has dynamic hyperlinks for each name. So as you had the names in, it will give you a hyperlink that goes directly to their armory. And you never have to do anything manually there. It's always just added directly from the information on this page here. So instant dynamic hyperlinks are very, very cool, very useful, and very quick, which is cool. Classes, it's just there just to make sure, really. Token type, again, this is very, very useful when you come to the filters, which I'll show you later. It shows you how many tier pieces you have, and it shows you what gear type you have, and all this is then put into here. So we have the types of gear you're using. In this case, we have 3 people. One of them is agility wearer, agility leather, and 2 of them are strength plate. These are counted by the class, not the class, the spec you're currently playing. So for example, if you're a paladin, and your retribution, it will count you as a strength plate. If you're currently logged in as holy, it will count you as an int plate. So it is quite smart in that the way it works. So don't worry too much about that. Vanquisher, Conqueror, and Protector, again, it just counts the tier tokens, and then it's going to tell you what classes you have and how many total. So some pretty cool stuff, just general analytics. Now the place where this currently shines is when you say, right, we're in a raid and we've had two pieces of two protection tokens have dropped. Right, who needs protection tokens? Let's go in here. We're going to find the format. All right, there's blanks, protection, and vanquisher. Well, we only have protection tokens, so we're going to have protection ticks. Right, boom. The only two protection people we have is Rage Wang and Misty Wang. Rage Wang already has 4 pieces, and Misty Wang has none. Right. So we know what we're going to do. We're going to give them to Misty Wang. Don't worry about all this over here. This just comes up because that happens to be on the cell it was. But the filtering itself is very, very useful, especially when it comes to giving out tier tokens. To go back in, we just select this little filter button here. And then you can just select all and click OK, and it will all come back. If you ever want to select by class, you can do that. You can just say, right, I want to see all the warriors. There's all the warriors, all that kind of good stuff. If you ever want to say, right, what strength? We've had a strength plate shoulders drop. Oh, okay, Rage Wang and Mini Moose might need it. Let's have a look. What have we got? Shoulders, 720 tier. Rage Wang might need them because he hasn't got tier, whereas Mini Moose probably doesn't want them. Right, cool. There's lots of things you can use the filtering for. And it's very, very useful, and it's much, much quicker to look at your raid in a way that's filtered down, and you can see exactly what it is you want to see at that point in time. So yeah, that's about it, I think, guys. If you have any more questions, if you want to know how to get it working, if this hasn't answered anything for you, please just drop a comment or message me or something. I'm more than happy to help. And yeah, that should be it. So thank you very much. I will see you next time.